Hello family, today is July the 19th and I'm coming on to make my Sunday dinner, and I'm going to smother some pork chops. We're going to have some rice and we're going to have some fried cabbage. So let's get started. Let me wash this meat. Okay family, we're going to begin seasoning with Lawry's. And some black pepper. And being that we're going to smother these down, we're not going to use any garlic powder, but we will use onion powder. I'm going to coat them in regular all-purpose flour, and I'm going to get my canola oil ready now. I'm going to make some rice. I'm going to soup that rice up a little bit, kind of soup it up and make it a little tasty. And to do that, what I'm going to use is I'm going to use some cream of mushroom with roasted garlic. And I also have a can of French onion. And so I was rather perplexed on whether or not to make mashed potatoes or rice. But I just kind of decided to go with rice today. I am going to make some smothered cheddar potatoes later on in the week. So then therefore I'll do a video about that and show you guys how to do that. So today I just opted to do the rice and to have some biscuits going as well. But anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to add the 2 cans of this. I'm going to make about maybe about 3 cups of I'm gonna use about 3 cups of long grain white rice. So you just simply double your water content to whatever your rice is going to be. So I'm going to also add some water into these cans once I kind of get this kind of cleaned out a little bit with this rubber spatula. So I'm going to fill these cans up a couple times. So in this one here, let's just say for this particular can, I'm going to fill this with water twice. And I'm going to fill this one with water twice and assess it. You can do it as you want to do it. I'm not so much of a 1 cup, half a cup, quarter cup cook. I kind of go by eyesight, so I'll be able to gauge it on which route I'm going to take as far as the liquid is concerned. But let's get the water going in this. Okay, look like I added about 2 cans of water of this. And I added about 3 cans of water of this. And it brought it to this level, which is good. And as you're stirring it, you want to be able to see the ingredients and the substance in it. I'm going to taste it with a spoon and see what the flavoring tastes like. I'm probably going to add a little Worcestershire sauce to it as well, to kind of kick up the flavor, but you can taste it and see where it's at as far as flavor is concerned, and whatever you might need to add at that time, then you add it according to your family's diet restrictions and according to their taste. Okay, what you really want to do though is put your meat in a container with a lid, or if you don't have any little cute containers or any type of container and lid for your meat, then wash one of these grocery store bags inside and out, and season your meat and put it in there as well, because you don't want to have your meat sitting out while you're cooking. You always want to put your meat in the refrigerator when you're not using it. But right now, for this particular purpose, we're getting ready to begin coating it in our all-purpose flour. And I'm just going to just kind of pat that flour on there a little bit. And I have canola oil over here. And I'm simply going to do one of those numbers. Let me get it all in and start our meat going. Being that we're going to smother these and they're already rather thin, we're just going to basically brown them a little bit. We're not going to cook them all the way done. We just want to brown them, so then therefore it will make a good gravy for us, a good base for our gravy. So they're really ready to come out, especially this guy. So let me start getting the roaster pan ready. Okay, we're going to use my mama's old school roaster pan with the lid. I love it. Okay, So what we're going to do is we're just going to begin taking some of these guys out and putting them in this roaster pan. Okay, yeah, that's a good one. That's good and ready. And we're just going to kind of do a layering effect on the bottom of the roasting pan. Just a layering effect in the bottom. If you could see how I'm doing that. I'm going to put it down because it's going to begin getting hot on my hand. So, okay. So let's get the rest of them browned and put in our pan. We're going to start our cabbage. And to get started with the cabbage, we're going to start with our bacon. Okay? I got it on a markdown, a food for less. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it in half. Okay, like so. Now, the key to cooking bacon without burning it is to always start your baking in a cold skillet. If you start it on a cold skillet, it will cook evenly and it will not have burnt edges and it just won't burn badly. Bacon that has been burned, it just doesn't taste right. So start it off right. Don't burn it. We have a broth for the rice at a 2.4. We have started our bacon off at a 4.0. Again, let me reiterate that you want to cook that bacon at a medium heat in a cold skillet. I just had to say it again. I just had to. And we're cooking our chops at a 5.5. I bought 2 heads of cabbage. The cabbage was on sale for 3 pounds for 99 cents, and so I got 2 heads. Now you can fry your cabbage 2 red, one green and 1 red, or 2 green, whichever way you want to go with it. There's really no way to say is the right or wrong way. You particularly do when it comes down to cooking, you cook towards your own taste. According to whatever it is on how you like your things, that's the way in which you're cooking. So, what we're going to do is, I'm going to begin to cut these off of the rind. I'm just going to cut them in fourths and get them washed up. So, let's do that. Cut it how you want to cut it. If you want real big leaves, cut it really big. If you want small leaves, cut it small. It doesn't matter on how you cook it. I mean, how you cut it, I'm sorry. But I don't like these real deep, I don't want to call it a vein, but the leaves with the real big core on them, I don't like those. Now, I am going to put this in my compost pile. So let me get it all cut up, washed up, and get it in our skillet. I've washed these in the sink a couple times. They're good and clean. So now we can begin putting them in our saucepan. You want to cook this bacon about 3/4 of the way done. Okay, with this bacon 3/4 of the way done, we're going to start putting the cabbage inside there. Cabbage makes its own water, so don't worry about the water content of it all. And that's our last little bit. I'm going to cut this fire down and I'm going to get my seasonings ready. I'm not cutting this up in any particular fashion. That's good enough. We're going to begin adding our onions here. We want these to caramelize. So to make them caramelize and really give a good flavor, we're going to put just a little bit of sugar, just a little bit, not to make it sweet, but to make it caramelize those onions really good and just to kick up that flavor. And once all those flavors marinate together, oh my God, it's something real serious. We're going to start off with a little vinegar though. Just a little bit on the side, it's fine. We're going to come through with some black pepper. Some large seasoned salt. Let me get that sugar. Until then though, I will add the lid. Let me go get that sugar though. I'm going to add a little bit of this. Okay, to make our gravy, we are going to put some onion in it to make it. So we're going to dice up a little bit more onion as well. Simply for that and that alone. So let me get this onion started. And I'm going to cut it in medallions. And we're going to saute them a little bit in our gravy mixture on the stove. Okay, so again, I didn't go to cordon bleu, so this is just the way in which I do business. I'm not a professional cook. I'm a home cook. I'm a homemaker, and this is how I do mine. I have this on a low heat, and what I did was I poured off all of the excess canola oil that was in the skillet, but I left the drippings. You want to leave the drippings. That is the key to a 40-weight gravy, is to have those drippings. So let's let this saute a little bit. I have 3 cups of long grain white rice, and I'm simply going to wash that down a little bit and get it in our broth. Let's get this in here, like so. I have this gravy on a 3.0, which is just fine, because the thing is, you really don't want to burn this flour any more than what it is already. It's good and brown, and that's what you want. You don't want it burnt. So we're going to just caramelize these onions just a little bit, just soften them up just a little bit. And then we're going to pour it over our meat in a minute. You just kind of want to flip your spatula just a little bit. You're just kind of folding it over. Anything more than that, you're going to have a mess all over everywhere, and you don't want to do that. So just take your time and flip that over a little bit. We do want to kind of want it to brown. So, and you see how it makes its own juices? So you don't have to worry about that. But you're just folding it over. That's it. We're going to let that brown up a little bit. Get a good fry to it. Okay. Okay, this is simply our base, but we're going to add a little bit more because you have to factor in the fact that we also have those drippings. But this is a good base to start. With your canned goods, you always want to kind of wash them off or wipe them off a little bit before you use them. You know, they've been handled by a lot of different hands, and you just kind of want to be mindful of that. Okay, so we're going to start off with some French onion. And we're going to put 2 of these in here. Okay, I'm going to add a little water in this. Kind of scrape the bottom a little bit of the skillet to remove any extra drippings that are at the bottom. What I'm going to do is take my measuring cup and I'm going to add about maybe 2 more cups of water inside of the remnants that it's still inside of the cup right now. Pour this all over your meat. Now we're going to put this in the oven on 350 for about 45 minutes. Before I do that, let me hit it with a little Liam Perrins. Him. Now let's put it in the oven. I'm going to add a little seasoning. Just a little. We're going to continue to let that cook at a 2.4 for about another, I don't know, about another 15 minutes. Because it's cooking really slow, which is just fine. I don't want it to burn anyways. So let me get it on. Put the lid back on it and let it do what it do. It looks good. It smells so good too. Oh, that looks good. That looks very, very good. Okay, it's not sticking at the bottom. So yeah, we could turn this off and take this out. That looks very good. That's ready. Oh, I need a ladle. Hold on, let me get another spoon. Hold up. I'll use this one. I'll use this, just a big spoon. Just to get a little bit of that gravy up in there and bowl that up right there like that. Make a little pond of that good stuff right there. Now, let's get some cabbage and stuff. Family, we have completed our Sunday dinner. I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and you guys have a good night. Bye-bye for now.